I don't think everyone's exposed to that knowledge. So if you don't mind just breaking down life insurance and annuities for folks high level.
Can I take it a step backwards even before that?
Oh yeah,
okay. Right. So Sandra talked about financial planner. So I would suggest sitting down with a financial planner, and that could be someone that's in your local bank. That could be someone that you just kind of pick up the phone and you find out that this person can kind of help you with wealth. And when people think of wealth management, they kind of think, oh, I don't got nothing to really, I don't have nothing, so why am I going to meet with a wealth manager? Well, it's simple. It's because you're building wealth.
Facts.
So what you're doing at that point in time is you're sitting down with that individual. And for us, I think maybe one of the first questions was, okay, so you're 30 years old. When do you want to retire? At what age do you want to retire? What is your yearly income at this point? So it's taking a bunch of information that you have, sharing it with that individual. They then kind of come back to you with, this is your net worth. This is how much you owe on your home. This is how much you owe in student loans. It's almost like a real live credit report based on your personal finances. At that point, you kind of see that there's disposable income available. Okay, however much money I'm bringing home, I have an extra $2,300 a month that's just kind of sitting dormant. That's haircut money, is shoe money, it's whatever. But with that extra money, now you tend to think of a way of what are avenues in which I can save that money. Now, talking about life insurance, I want to break it down kind of in the most simplest form. Life insurance is simply, it can be a way to replace income, not only income, but more ways, a way to kind of assist a family in need. If just something catastrophic happens tomorrow, you're able, by having life insurance, you're ensuring yourself that you will continue to have, if not more, the same income available with the loss of your partner. And it happens in various ways. I mean, there are policies that are $50,000. There are policies that are, up to millions of dollars. It all depends on what you want and what you can afford. But for the most part, it's something just kind of necessary in a sense to think about, if something were to happen to me, how would my family continue to survive without my financial contribution on a monthly, yearly basis? I still want them to have the same quality of life, if not better. So you look at that as being a tool to kind of simply help you as you start to plan for your future. Maybe the family is okay financially, but now the next step of that is thinking, how am I going to be able to pay for these children to go off to college? That may be another realm to think about in terms of insurance for the most part. But again, it's
one of many parts, but not the whole, right? The key thing for us was we got it at 30, right? Early on, right? So we can check that box, right? That we've done that. We've put that aside for if for something catastrophic would happen, we have that. And the fact that we got it younger, then it's cheaper, right? Than when we're older. So again, and as we think now about how we plan, it's about what things do we want to have in place. So early on, we had a person, okay, it was maybe $20 a month. Boom. Okay, we now have that insurance. Check that off our list on the long-term game. For Timothy, when he was born, a month later, Tim said, again, our financial advisor, someone that we trusted, someone that we asked around, who do you trust? We said, we want to ensure that we have money set aside for Timothy to go to college. Similar to what Tim said, our financial advisor said, what are your goals, Sandra? Where do you envision Timothy might go to college in 18 years? Is that a Stanford? Is that a UC Berkeley? Okay, we think at our best guesstimate, that might be $150,000. That's our goal to get to.
Yeah.
Right? We opened up the 529. We put a little amount every month. Timothy knows if he gets money, it goes to your 529, right?
Nice.
He's not always not happy about that. I have to put it in there, right? But that's what he's been exposed to, an expectation. Fast forward to now, our financial advisor, you're on track to exceed what you have done, right?
Nice.
So you start early, right? And then we said, can he use it for studying abroad? They're like, yes. Could he use it for high school tuition? Yes. Again, not knowing at that time, we just said we want to put something away so that he knows. And we also share with him, like, we want him to, it's important for our kids who had more than what our parents were able to give to understand hard work and sacrifice, to say, we have sacrificed for you on this. Your job is to do the very best in your schoolwork, to get A's. That's your job. But to understand that they too have to learn to sacrifice. And maybe when Timothy was 12, you had him set up a E-Trade account.
Right. So we started looking at, okay, what are your homies doing in school? You know, what are your, and I simply like, you know, do you ever talk about, you know, stocks with your friends, or what do you guys talk about at lunchtime? And, you know, at that point it was kind of like, it was a little foreign at 12, but at 13 it became so real, because then the conversation was like, wow, you know, a lot of kids are buying Adidas, a lot of kids are playing, you know, video games, you know, everybody wants to go to Disneyland. So it's like, okay, well, let's, the things that you support, things that we're supporting, let's look into the stock market and figure out how we can purchase stocks that now you become a very small owner in some of those items. So we looked at Nike, we looked at Disney, we looked at Tesla, which at that point was, you know, it's just skyrocketed.
It's a startup.
But as we speak now, we're in Lucid. Lucid is kind of like the come up behind Tesla. You know, it's going to be another awesome invention, biotech. So we started to look at different things, and it's something that I have him manage. You look at you make sure you're taking a look at this weekly for the most part. You know, Dad, we lost $30. Dad, we earned $50. You know, we earned $50. I'm like, okay, I want you to just look at it, just to understand that this is a long game. It's not a short game. You know, you earn $100. You're like, Dad, can we sell everything? No, we'll keep it in. We'll continue to see what happens. But also, I want you to continue to kind of, you know, check in with your buddies, check in with your friends, see what they're seeing, see what they're hearing. You know, because and interesting, we went to a school event couple months ago, and two of the kids had actually created a simulated game based on the stock market. So my first question to one of the kids was that, if I gave you $5,000, how could you get me 20 back in 6 months? And he kind of started laughing, but then he after he thought about it, he started telling me all these different things that I should do. And Timothy was like, Dad, you're gonna do it? I'm like, I just wanted to see what his advice was, but it was a way to start getting him to thinking about, you know, what is the long haul? You know, how can we make this work for us? But it's just I can't stress enough, man. It's all about education, knowing what's available, learning about what's available, and trying to figure out how it can work best for you. Everything is not for everybody. Some things have a lot more risk than others. So are you a risk taker? If you're not a risk taker, then some things you don't want to get involved in. Are you more, do you consider yourself more of a moderate investor? You know, you have to figure out what you are, where you're at. But for the most part, it's definitely the education, you know, just figuring out how to learn about what's available and how to move forward. You know, we both have 9 to 5s, and in my 9 to 5, you know, when I meet a new employee, the first thing I'm saying is that max out your retirement plan, put as much money as you can in your retirement plan from work. And they're probably looking at me like, why would I do that? And I'm like, well, okay, yeah, you're only 25 and you're just starting. But if I could tell you what's going to happen in the next 5, 10, 15 years, you'd be surprised to know what that money is going to turn into or what it's going to look like in terms of your simple investment now. So those are, we've all had family members that at some point in time have tapped into us about, if it's one thing, what would a 50-year-old me tell a 20-year-old me?
Yeah.
Save as much as you can. That's one piece of advice, but I mean, there's several pieces of advice. But when it comes to money, I would say save as much as you can. I could probably brag and say I'm probably one of the only folks that I know in my 50s that has never owned a pair of Jordans.
And that's not in your retirement plan, huh? You're not gonna buy just one pair.
It's not in my retirement plan, man. It was never for me in terms of I'm gonna spend $150, $185, $250 for a pair of shoes. I'm not knocking it. It was just something that I couldn't fathom in terms of working hard and trying to know where I wanted to go or what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that we learned on sacrifice is the best car is a paid off car, right? So I think
amen to that.
After we got married, I don't think we've bought very few brand new cars. We might do 2 years, but to say, again, what is the best investment? We want a car that's paid off because that's reoccurring every month, as opposed to it's paid off, I want the next new shiny, right? So for us, the driveway has 2 Volvos. My last one was 12 years, right? 13 years. So I've got more than what I anticipated, but it just goes back to, as Tim said, your comfort zone and priority. Say that to me is more important.
Yeah.
No note than having the best new shiny thing.
Thank you for supporting the M4 show and our mission to increase the wealth of Black families.
If you received any value from this episode, any value at all, any, do us a favor and give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, anything, all of them. All of them. Wherever you're listening, go ahead and like and subscribe.
And after you like and subscribe, make sure you send this episode to at least one family that you really want to see win. We'll catch y'all next time.